All right, folks. So just a brief explanation behind the logic. So there's what's known as the mind-body connection. And so what goes on in the mind takes a toll on the body. And likewise, what the body feels, whether it's tension, emotions, or what have you, is reciprocated to the mind. So the mind is affecting the body is being interpreted by the mind. So it's sort of like a vicious cycle with regards to how the mind-body connection works. And so what we want to do with meditation, at least some of the techniques, not all of the techniques work the same way, is alleviate that mind-body connection. And Sam Harris talks about this in his book, Waking Up. If you guys haven't read it, Waking Up Spirituality Without Religion, I absolutely recommend it. But he talks about how we're constantly processing information throughout the day. And also, in addition to what Sam Harris talks about, throughout the night, we're actually dreaming through the 5 stages of sleep, the 4 non-REM and the 1 REM stage of sleep. And so the idea is that when you're involved in these dreams, it's as if you're involved in real life activities. So stress chemicals like cortisol are still released. And so the mind-body connection isn't alleviated in the way that meditation would attempt to alleviate the mind-body connection. And so that's what we're going to do with some of these techniques, is to alleviate the mind-body connection, to help with insomnia, to help with stress reduction, and overall health. And so those are some of the techniques that I'll go ahead and guide you guys with. And we'll go ahead and get started. So go ahead and get into a comfortable position. All right, and now if you're in a comfortable position, pay attention to your body. Notice if there's any tension. Feel free to move the body, the legs, the shoulders, the neck, to release any tension that might be there in the body that might become a distraction once the meditation gets started. Okay, so if you've relieved any tension, you're in a comfortable spot. You're sitting in a comfortable position or laying down, whatever's comfortable for you. But if you do choose to lay down, the idea is not to fall asleep, but to actually apply the techniques and get the benefit from them. And so we'll go ahead and get started. And we'll start with taking a deep breath, filling up the lungs completely, slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Feeling yourself settle into the body. Feeling yourself settle into the moment. Feeling yourself settle into the space around you. Noticing whatever is underneath you, if it's a cushion or the floor. Noticing the space around you, perhaps the temperature of the air. And finally, noticing the body in its sitting position from head to toe. Okay, another deep breath, filling up the lungs completely, slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Feeling yourself settle into the body. All right, we'll get started with the first mindfulness technique, which is for us to bring all of our focus and all of our attention to the breath and the tip of the nose, where the air is entering the nostrils and exiting the nostrils. The idea is to absorb yourself completely into the observation of the breath, losing yourself into the breath. And if the mind wanders, which it will, just notice that the mind is wandering, let it go, and return your attention to the breath again and again, absorbing yourself completely, emptying the mind of thoughts and activity, moving into a trance by absorbing yourself into the breath. So one way to look at mindfulness is when you're reading a book or watching something on a screen, your attention is absorbed into the content and everything else turns into the periphery. Everything else turns into the background and your attention is absorbed into the content. So in the same way, absorb yourself completely into the observation of the breath, allowing the mind to naturally move toward a point of stillness. The key to meditation is that you're fully and totally content with what you're doing, which right now you're just observing the breath as it flows in and out. You're not thinking about anything, and you're completely content with just observing the breath. The idea is don't try to concentrate, just relax and observe. So if you've experienced even a moment of stillness where there's no thoughts, then know that this is a safe and healthy space for you to always return to, because you're not evaluating anything or anticipating anything. You're not judging anything or worrying about anything. You're not thinking about anything or doing anything. You're simply breathing and being. Okay, we'll go ahead and let this technique go and transition to another mindfulness technique. Again, taking a deep breath, filling up the lungs completely, slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Okay, the next mindfulness technique will be for us to bring all of our focus and all of our attention to our listening and to the sounds that are arising. These could be sounds at a distance, subtle sounds, sounds from within the room or within the body. But the idea is you're going to absorb yourself completely into the observation of sounds, just like you're absorbing yourself completely into the observation of the breath. The mind is quiet and the ears are open. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that technique go as well, and we'll transition to another mindfulness technique. Go ahead and take another deep breath, filling up the lungs completely, slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Okay, the next mindfulness technique will be for us to bring all of our focus and all of our attention to the middle of the forehead, right between the eyebrows. Mindfulness is all about directing one's attention to one thing and absorbing yourself into that one thing. And so right now we're focused on the middle of the forehead, right between the eyebrows, looking for any sensations that might be arising there. If there are no sensations, that's fine. Just keep looking. There may be tingling sensations, vibrational sensations. Maybe there's no sensation. Maybe you can feel the air touching the skin of the forehead. Either way, keep your attention on that one spot. And it's almost as if you're using your two eyes to look up at the middle of the forehead, right between the eyebrows. You can use your imagination and pretend as if someone's going to touch you with a bird's feather at any moment in the middle of the forehead, right between the eyebrows. You can use your imagination and pretend as if there's a drop of water that has fallen and is slowly moving on the middle of the forehead, right between the eyebrows. Okay, we'll go ahead and let this technique go, and we'll go do one more technique. Go ahead and take another deep breath, filling up the lungs completely. Slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Okay, the next technique will involve a couple of different steps that will apply gradually and then simultaneously. The first step will simply be to bring your awareness to the area of the heart. The heart is a muscle, so notice if there's any tension there. It's also your emotional center, so notice if there's any lingering emotions being felt at the level of the chest. Begin to release that tension and release those emotions. And the first step will be to start to take slightly deeper breaths, one after the next, consecutively and continuously. Slightly deeper breathing. Breathing into the stomach, feeling the breath in the chest. Feeling the coolness and the pressure of the breath during the inhale in the middle of the chest. And then sensations of relief during the exhale. With the first technique, you were simply observing the breath, not manipulating it, but now we're actually manipulating the breath. Slightly deeper breaths, one after the next. Breathing into the stomach, feeling the breath in the chest. And now beginning to notice the rise and the fall of the chest and the stomach with each breath. Beginning to notice the rise and the fall of the chest and the stomach with each breath. Feeling the coolness and the pressure of the breath during the inhale in the middle of the chest, and then sensations of relief during the exhale. You can also add a physical smile to the face if you want, noticing any shift in the mood that accompanies the smile, allowing the smile to be as genuine as possible. Embracing the smile, noticing any shift in the mood that accompanies the smile. Continuing to breathe through the nose into the stomach, feeling the breath in the chest. Feeling carefree and worry-free. Lighthearted, allowing yourself to let go completely. Okay, we'll go ahead and allow the smile to relax, return to normal breathing, and we'll go ahead and begin to transition out of the meditation. Eyes are closed. Go ahead and take another deep breath, filling up the lungs completely. Slow, gradual, deep breath in and out. Okay, I'm going to give one last direction. Wait until the entire direction is given before you begin to follow it. What you're going to do is fill up your lungs with air, completely with air. Pause with your lungs completely full of air. Open up your eyes completely. Wait a brief moment. And then exhale. You can do that whenever you're ready.